Hi traders, CJ here. I just thought I would make a video because something new I'm going to introduce in 2021. I'm going to start doing trade recap videos on every single trade I take in 2021, even whether that be a win or a loss. I think it'll be really good for my development, and also I think it will be a nice introduction to the pro members in the group, and I hope that you can find value in it and learn why I entered the trade and improve yourself as a trader. It'll only be a short video, and I'm going to include why I took the trade, where I entered, how the trade played out, what I could have done differently, and my percentage win or loss on that particular trade. So what I thought I would do is just do one now on a trade I took in December on Euro Pound, and it was actually a losing trade in the group because it hit stop loss, but I actually re-entered again and it hit my take profit. So I'll just do a quick recap. We're on the hourly chart, and as you can see, we'd come up to this double top region and then we'd fallen away. You can see this big gap in the market here, and gaps often like to be filled. So I was expecting a retracement into this level. We have another gap down here, and once we had that, we've sort of got a corrective piece of price action back into market structure. As you can see, we've got this region here, and then we came into it here. So I was expecting this to be a high probable area for us to push to the downside, and I was targeting the 0.90 key level and some previous lows. Now, you can clearly see that we have some corrective price action into my level. What I mean by corrective is it's not impulsive. It didn't wasn't extremely bullish and pushed through. You can see that it's got corrective nature and it's worked up to it quite slowly. So I you can see I had a 20 pip stop of 115 pip target, so it was a 1 to 5. Now I always risk 1% of my balance. That is strict management for me. I never do less, I never do more. It's just part of my trading plan. Now if I just play out a little bit of price just quickly, you can see I entered here on this 1 hour wick here, and you can see that it hit stop loss immediately. In hindsight, now when I'm looking at this trade, I sort of look at it and go, well, actually, if I do put this trend line back on, we actually didn't have the third touch, and you can see that we had 1 touch, 2 touch, and then we came up for the third touch. So I probably entered the trade too soon, but I was really confident on my analysis. I was never going to put anything back in the group, especially as it was a losing trade. Again, that's against my plan. I wouldn't normally do this myself, but I like everyone else, have emotions, and I was actually really frustrated that it hit my stop loss. So I was looking for a way to enter again. If I play out price, you can see that once we had this third tap up here, we rejected that level quite strongly, and we had a bearish engulfing. So as soon as we had this hourly candle close at 4, I entered the trade again. I had the exact same stop loss. My target was exactly the same. Obviously my entry wasn't 0.91195. It was a little bit different, but it was pretty much the same. And if I just play out price, you can see that we actually moved really nicely and quite quickly to the downside and hit our target. Now, something that I'm really going to look at in 2021 is obviously I'm going to do buy and sell, limit orders, but one of the things I'm going to look at is trying to scale into positions, to keep my trades running potentially even longer, but also looking for a way to get in if I know that the clear direction was right. And again, just looking at this now, you know, back testing and looking at how I entered the trade, you know, you can see that we had another you know, level here. And if I just zoom in, you can see, you can see that, you know, we broke down, you know, we filled this wick here, you know, wicks like to be filled, and we came down into this region. Once we came into that region, we had a retest, so we came back and we came up into this level of structure. So, you know, this level here would have been a really good place to scale in and enter a second position and take price to the downside. So that's something that I'm really going to work on in the new year. Another thing I'm going to look at, and this is why it's really important to you know, manage your positions, is it hit TP3 perfectly, which is you know, which is really good. It hit my target, you know, came down and filled, you know, these lows in this wick here and the 90 key level. But if I play out price, you can see you know, that price went that little bit further and actually broke. As you can probably see, it didn't break it initially. We had a pullback, but you know, you can see that we then actually broke the 90 key level and created a new low. So although I banked 5% on this trade, if I had actually left the trade open, you know, rather than 5, could have got 8. So you can see risk to reward, that could have been risking 1% of my balance for 8%, but it actually was only 5%. So that's something that I'm going to look at improving as I go into the new year. Now remember, risk management is so important on your trades, because, you know, if you have £100 account, you always risk 1%. You are risking £1. Okay, but if you had a risk to reward of 1 to 5 and a £100 account, you're risking £1 your balance for a gain of 5. Obviously, on the flip side, if you had more money invested and you had a £1,000 account, you're actually risking £10. Okay, if you're risking 1%, but you would have been having a risk reward. You would have been getting £50 if this trade had gone in the desired direction. So it just goes to show that if you have strict risk management, okay, you can really benefit from these big moves, and you can make some considerable money on the markets. Hopefully you know, it'd be great to get some feedback on this video. Let me know if you found it helpful. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a trade recap video on every single trade, whether I win or lose, and I think it'll be a great place that everyone can learn my strategy. I've obviously got a few different ways that I trade, from, you know, impulse wick fills to a break of descending ascending trend lines, and also ICI, impulse correction, then looking for the next impulse. There's lots of different ways that I trade, but hopefully you'll be able to gauge and improve as a trader and learn with me. Hope this helps. Enjoy your weekend, guys.